My name is Jaleesa. Everybody calls me JB. From Atlanta, and I do hair and eyelash extensions. I specialize in natural hair.
I am former Sergeant Jasmine Nicole Jacobs of the Georgia Army National Guard, and I'm from Atlanta, Georgia.
My name is Kimberly. I'm originally from Fayetteville, North Carolina, and after graduating, I moved here to Atlanta, Georgia, to open a small business that specializes in hair, but hair below the belt.
Well, my name is Park Cannon. I was actually born in Southwest Georgia, a place we call Albany. But I moved up to Atlanta and now live in the old Fourth Ward in the house that my grandparents used to live in. And what I'll say is that I learned many of my lessons about minimizing human suffering, about loving my neighbor, and about being a public servant from my grandparents.
My name is Shayna Beverly. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a licensed realtor, cosmetologist, bartender. I'm an independent contractor for Beamer Microcirculation Therapy, also for Karatbars International. And my husband and I own a real estate investment company together called Georgia Prime Holdings.
My name is Bree DeLeese, and I'm 24 years old. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm a makeup artist here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I actually graduated from Clark Atlanta University in May of 2016.
My name is Elaine Walker. I'm from nowhere and everywhere. My mother's military, so I did a lot of moving around. I didn't really grow up anywhere, but I'm a wanderer. And I am a brand ambassador, model, and strategist for creatives.
I've been doing hair since I was about senior in high school, maybe. I used to press my friend's hair out, not knowing that this is something that I would want to do for real. I went to college and all that. The hair is just my piece. Like, it's my stress reliever. I love everything about it. I like making people feel good. Regular person. Like to get married.
I am a queen of all trades. I love helping people in any form that I can. My motto is to help myself, my family, and anyone that chooses to learn to have health, wealth, and spirituality in abundance. And so with that, I've just been trying to elevate myself, vibrate at a higher frequency, and get back to who I am, my true self, back to God.
Currently, I'm a makeup artist. I also sing, I do some acting and modeling as well.
I'm an enthusiast of art, and I think that's why I became a creative strategist and networker. That's why I wanted to go into business for myself. Also because you get to be free and do your own thing. I don't have to worry about having my hair a certain way or having a certain look or fitting into somebody else's mold when you're your own business owner.
Certain braid styles, different colors. It's not going to wear a weave if it's too long, like anything past like here. You get looked at like a dancer, like you just, or different color if it's too bright and looking at you like a ghetto. But if I got something like this, real conservative, no problem.
At first, I actually got a lot of pushback from my family. They didn't understand. I mean, I went natural before, I guess, the whole natural movement kind of happened, but they didn't understand the natural movement. So me wearing my hair on top of my head, or now that it's grown longer, it's a lot more acceptable. But when it was shorter and it was like that, it's like you get from my mom and my dad, like, what you doing with your hair today? And I'm like, this is my hair. This is exactly what, so you're not gonna comb it out or brush it out or brush it down. I'm like, no. Some people, they like their edges laid and everything, and I'm not one of those people. I'm like, my edges do what they want, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to put that extra pull or that extra tug. I like them just the way they are. So at first, my family had to warm up to it.
When I was growing up, I was in beauty pageants and dance competitions all of the time. And the question was always, well, what are you gonna do with your hair? How are you gonna make it into a ponytail if it's natural? Or how will it look the same if you braid it with the other girls? And I feel as though those stereotypes made it seem as though our natural hair is not as great as other people's natural hair. But I'm glad that right now, the stereotypes that I think that I'm facing, a lot of other people in the world are facing. Because as you can see, my hair is locked, and I don't think that I am battling the stereotypes of having locked hair alone.
Growing up as a little black girl in the South, I think it's very common to spend your Sunday mornings getting your ear burned by the hot comb on the stove, and really just being taught from a very young age that straight hair is beautiful, and the straighter and longer and more European you can present yourself, the more beautiful and accepted you are by society. So I think that black women in particular have always had this very complicated relationship with hair, and I hate with it when people say that they went natural. I feel like really as cheesy as it sounds, like you're returning natural, because you're really just allowing your hair to be the way that it grows out of your head. And in doing that, you're almost like reclaiming your beauty, reclaiming what you naturally are, and taking that and making that powerful again, empowering that and making that a motivational thing, and not just saying that, you know what, the only way that I can be beautiful is if my hair is 16 inches down my back and is so far from anything that would ever grow out of my head. That's the only way that I can acclaim this beauty. And I feel like black women are really starting to take that back, and we're really starting to say that, hey, my hair is kinky, my hair is nappy, my hair locks naturally if I don't comb it for too long, and like that's beautiful and that's powerful, and I think that's the politics of hair.
I work in hospitality, of course I said I'm a bartender, so there have been different events or venues that I've worked at, and I had to make sure that my hair was in a certain manner. It definitely couldn't be anything to this effect. Pulled back, most likely pressed in some cases. So I feel like that's a stereotype, in itself. If I can't wear my hair exactly how it is and it's on stage, then that's a stereotype to me, whether said or unsaid.
I've never been stereotyped personally, but as a black woman, I think that black women do experience a lot of negativity just because of the texture of their hair, or maybe the coarseness of their hair, or because their hair is more thick than somebody of white descent or somebody of another race. But yeah, I've never been personally stereotyped, but just as a black woman, I know that we definitely do experience hatred and negativity sometimes just because of our hair type.
Even though I know that I said hair is important and women should be able to wear what they want to express themselves, I know that in my 9 to 5, I still can't wear certain hairstyles because I haven't fully transitioned yet. Like, I work during the day and then I come here in the evenings and on Saturdays. So I know that I may not be able to have a blue streak of hair or a pink streak of hair or go fire red, because I'm going to get looked at funny by the executives at work. Do I think that's right? No. But that's society and that's the world we live in. So you kind of got to, I guess, follow it. So when I'm at work, I get fixed, they throw a little curl in it. When I'm not,
Not so much in the work environment, a little bit, but definitely like just dating. Depending on how my hair looks that day, it definitely determines what kind of response I get, from the opposite sex, even, if they're a black male with hair themselves. So definitely.
So my experience with the military regarding my hair really didn't come until the end of my career. For a long time in the military, my hair was relaxed for the greater part of my 7.5 years in the Army National Guard. I then started to wear it in more natural styles, wearing more twists and different ways so that I could start to grow the relaxer out of my hair before finally going natural. And even then, I found it was like very easy to upkeep. I felt that it was something that was authentic to me, and it was something that I embraced. And it wasn't something that was an issue until there was actually a regulation change towards the end of my time in the military. And a lot of the natural hairstyles that I was using when I went to the field, that I was wearing when I was deployed, were now being considered unauthorized. They were no longer considered within regulations, and they were actually saying that they were unprofessional and they weren't hairstyles that were becoming of the military. And when I heard this, I took action. I started a petition basically saying that these new rules and regulations were racially biased. And I found that a lot of other little black and brown girls felt the same way, that we had fought so hard to love ourselves out loud and to be happy with who we are and the way our hair naturally grows, that now the military was telling us to kind of get back in our box and to assimilate. And we took a stand and we worked with members of Congress, and those regulations were eventually overturned. And what was more, they decided that moving forward, anytime any uniform decisions were made that involved the Department of Defense, they would have to have a universal panel that was representative of all the people that make up the armed forces. And just this last year, the last part of our petition was actually fulfilled in that the Army authorized dreadlocks, which was kind of our last request, was authorizing the wear of professional and kept dreadlocks, because it is such a integral part of our culture. And so I think that's kind of my major win and my little stamp left on the Army where hair is concerned.
I have an interesting curl pattern, and people tend to like that and enjoy that, especially now that it's starting to get some blink. I'm definitely getting a lot more compliments than before, but I think whether you're getting pro or negative feedback about your hair, it really teaches, like I said, it teaches you about awareness of self, because you have to be okay with it before anybody else will be.
I wear my hair in dreadlocks. I actually semi-freeform my hair. So you caught me on a good week because I just got it done last week. But I probably get my hair retwisted maybe like 2 or 3 times a year. And I maintain it with like interlocking when I do that process.
Well, I'll show you. I'll take this part here and I'll just hold it out in the middle for a minute. I'll bring this into some sort of a ponytail and secure it. Kind of make it fun around the edges. Then I'll take these pieces here and I'll braid them up until I reach the top. And then I'll take something like a bobby pin and just pin it up here. And this is kind of what my active day ponytail looks like.
Ooh, I style my hair in all kind of ways. You know, they try and they give us the faux pas that we follow different cultures as far as wearing our hair straight or things like that. But if you look back in our history, we've been pressing our hair since Cleopatra and probably before then. And so I can wear my hair any way I choose. I just took some braids out. I wear crochets. I will wear a wig. If I don't have time, I will wear a wig. I will do 2-strand twist outs. I'll set my hair. I'll press it and do updos. I'll do anything. I love being versatile. I don't like being buckled down on hairstyles. I'll try anything almost once, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. Like, I don't really do weaves. I can't get relaxed with having something not allowing my scalp to breathe for that long. So other than that, I can pretty much do anything. I'll try anything. And in a month or less, I'm changing my hairstyle.
The style of my hair just depends on my mood. My go-to hairstyle though is what I have right now. I'll just wash my hair, braid it up, oil it and then braid it up. And this is just a quick, easy, cute hairstyle for me.
I grew up in the suburbs of Georgia, and my hair was chemically relaxed from a very young age. And prior to that, it was straightened with heat probably once a week. And I think that growing up, I was just taught that having natural hair, having kinky hair just wasn't attractive, that I had really beautiful, like, thick hair, but it would be so much prettier when it's straightened or when I press it out. So I think that growing up, hair for me has always been something that I didn't embrace, something that made me feel ugly, and something that I really kind of had to, like, work to, like, love as a part of, like, learning to love myself, I guess. My hair for me is very much, having dreadlocks is such a cultural thing because it's a totally different facet of having natural hair, because you have to go through this period of, like, having these little, nubby worms, and you don't feel all that pretty, and as a female, you don't feel that cute, and I remember feeling like I had, like, little worms all over my head, and so you really, really, really learn to be, like, super comfortable with yourself and to really love yourself, like, for who you are, and to really get past all of that superficial beauty and figure out, like, what's going on the inside. So having dreadlocks has been such an amazing and beautiful process for me. I find so much strength and power and love for the Black community in my dreads, and on a day-to-day basis, I get, like, nothing but compliments on them, and I feel great about them because for me, like, they are the truest kind of, like, form of Black hair. When black hair is left undisturbed, like, what it does, it locks. And so for me, it's like a constant, like, homage to my ancestors and homage to my culture and to my people.
Oh my gosh. So we started out with me sitting in front of the stove and my mom just hot combing and pressing my hair, really getting my edges together. And then we went to a perm. We permed my hair for probably about 6 years. And then we got to the place where, because I was taking on stress, my hair was damaged. And I didn't want to color it to further damage it. So I did the big chop. And then finally, once the big chop was long enough for me to start braiding my hair, I started doing box braids. And then I started doing micro braids. And once I started to get a love for what it felt like to have kind of shorter braids, I decided that I wanted to lock my hair. And now I have sister locks.
My hair journey. Well, I was natural. I had my mother, my grandmother, my 2 aunts, my mom. They're all licensed cosmetologists also. My grandfather was a barber. I have 2 cousins that are barbers now. And I guess you could say I started out natural. I didn't get a full, what you call a relaxer or a perm in our community until I was in high school. So I had a perm all the way until then, until I would say, until I was around 29, may have been 29 when I started on my journey to elevate myself, mind, body, and spirit. And so that's when I knew that I had to start eliminating certain things in order to be healthier and to have a better mindset. Then I had to change how I did my hair and what I put on my hair, and which in turn would go in my body. So stopped the relaxers and I did my big chop, and I started my journey on with my own hair once again, my grown life.
I have experienced so much, like, with my hair. Like, when I was younger, I switched different hairstylists. My mom used to take me to get my hair done all the time. Like, every weekend I would get my hair done. And I just couldn't find the right stylist. Like, either they would burn my hair and try to cut it off, or they wouldn't wash it good enough. And I just, after a while, I don't know, I just didn't really trust anybody with my hair. Even my mom, that's my mom, but I didn't like her doing my hair because she could style it how I wanted to. So once I reached a certain age, I just started doing my hair myself.
I've been short, long, blonde, black. I wear weaves, I wear braids. I feel like a woman should be able to wear whatever she wants and it's okay. Like she shouldn't feel uncomfortable about if she want to cut her hair bald, wear a fade. Because I noticed a lot of men don't like when women cut their hair off. And I think a woman should have the freedom to do whatever she want to do and look how she wants to look. Like your hair should be like, it's like your way of expression. That's how I look at hair. You want to wear a wig, wear it. That's how it is for me. Like I can have long hair today, short hair tomorrow. That's what hair is. Change it up.
My hair journey was unique in the way that I didn't grow up with a lot of Afro influences. I grew up in private school where a lot of the people had just long, straight hair, and when presented with the opportunity to have the same hair, of course, I kind of really jumped on that. Before I got my first relaxer, my natural hair was actually down to the base of my back. But I didn't have an awareness of self or what that meant or anything like that. It was too kinky, it was too curly, and I wanted it straight so that I could match my peers. So I got my first relaxer. I was maybe 12 years old, maybe around that age. And I was a normal habit. So eventually my hair adjusted, it got short. And then it adjusted to the chemicals and it started to grow out. And when I got my last relaxer, my hair was about bra strap length. So I got my last relaxer 2 weeks before going to college. And I just felt like it would be an expensive upkeep. So I kind of let it go, but I did not do a big chop. I don't know, I got used to that long feel. So I was like, well, I'll just let it kind of grow out and break off by itself. And that's exactly what happened. It broke off something serious. And then it took about 2 years for all of that hair to fall off and trim, for me to go completely natural and just have all natural hair. So 2010 got my last relaxer. 2012 I was fully natural, and I've been fully natural since, and I love my crown. Something that's unique about my hair is it doesn't fall like other people's hair. Mine reaches up to the sky, and I love it. So I most often kind of put it on top of my head. But I like the versatility of it. Some people wanted me to get dreads, but I was like, nah, I like the fact that I can kind of play with my hair too, do lots of different things with it. So I love it. It's its own kind of experience and its own kind of transformational journey going through that. You learn things about yourself, about your body actually, when you have natural hair. Because like it's the healthier I am spiritually, holistically, and just in life, the better my hair grows. When I start stressing out or if there's an imbalance in my life, it might start to break off, or it starts getting short and kind of really brittle and dry. So it definitely keeps me aware of myself.
My hair journey, let's see, natural, of course, as a kid, and then I guess maybe around like 5th grade, I kind of had this longing for straight hair. I don't really know where that came from. I guess, the same place that it comes from for other people, not having the Disney princesses and the Black Panther characters to look up to that kids have now. I wanted straight hair, and I talked my mom into letting me get a relaxer, and I was relaxed all through high school. In college, I had the luxury of going to an HBCU, so that's where I really learned more about going natural, and I've been relaxer free for about 11 years now.
Well, my mom always taught me that my hair was beautiful, and I truly did believe so. I believed that her hair was beautiful and my grandmother's hair was beautiful, but all of our hairs were different. Mine at that time was permed, my grandmother's was more natural but graying, and my mom's was kind of in braids or some other styles. So I realized that there could be versatility in your hair and it can all still be great just because it's in your family.
Well, I would group that with hygiene. I was taught about keeping myself up, totally, and that included my hair, keeping my hair up, making sure, if nothing else, it was neat and presentable. You may not be the best at styling, but you need to make sure you're presentable. And if you can't, there are professionals that can do it. But I was blessed enough to have several professionals, so all I had to do was go to my aunt's shop or ask my mom to do my hair. And so, but I was always taught that is important, to keep yourself up.
I would say my mom never really sat me down, and it was never anything like a conversation about my hair, but she definitely used to try different products like on my hair, just to lay my edges down or lay my hair down or give it a certain look that she wanted. So as I grew up, I don't know if anybody knows about the product Live. It's in like a white jar with red writing on it, but it's called Live, and my mom loved that product. As I started to get older, I kind of shied away from the Live and the products that my mom used on me, just because I found that I didn't particularly like them for myself. But just growing up, you learn about yourself, you learn about your hair, you learn about what you like. So I started using things that I like. Once my mom actually let me do my hair myself, my hair on my own just helped me to learn more about hair care, as well as just learn different styles that I like on myself.
My mom really taught me about hair, because I've been going to a hair salon since I was like 5. Like, I pretty much grew up in a hair salon, so I always knew that get your hair done. Like, I could never wear rollers out the house. I could never wear my headscarf out the house. I was always taught to look presentable. So it started at an early age. And my mom, she gets her hair done every Saturday at like 6 o'clock in the morning, some crazy hour. So she's been doing that since I was a kid. So all I know is keep your hair up.
I think I learned the basics about natural hair from an ex, because I really had no clue what I was doing. But my ex and YouTube probably was kind of the balance of me kind of getting the basics of how do I try to tame and control this, at the time, what I thought just mess of hair. But as time went on, I just kind of started listening to it and feeling what it responded to, the type of products that it responded to, the type of textures and things like that. So it was really, it started off with kind of other influences, but then it took its own life and it became, like I said, a journey. I had to figure it out myself, because what works for one natural person is not going to work for the next, it's not just going to automatically work for the next natural person. So you have to figure out what your hair likes, what your hair responds to. And it took time in playing with different products. Now, being a model helped, because I became a hair model for a couple of different brands, so I got to try out different products for free, so that was cool. But yeah, I'm more kind of self-taught.
I was blessed to always be, in a salon. My mom didn't really do hair, so I guess I wasn't really taught how to do my own until, once again, college, just being with girls that looked like me, that were from all over the world. And they're like, hey, back home we use this, or back home we do this thing called blowouts, and that's how you can get your hair straight without chemicals and things like that. I guess, being with other black girls, that's who taught me how to, really care for my hair. Other than that, I just went and got it done.
And it makes you feel good. It builds your self-esteem up, your morale. It builds you up. You'd be surprised how much looking good and looking in the mirror and giving yourself a check plus will make you feel throughout your day. When I cut my hair today, I would. I had my hair short once before. It was actually right before I kind of did the big chop. I cut my hair short, but I was still perming my hair, slicking it, wrapping it up, and hot curling it, not in my natural state. And so I loved my short hair. I loved my short hair.
I actually want to cut it again now. I had undercut, like all the back of my hair was gone, and I had brought the fade up to about right there. I tried to copy Taraji. It was cute. I had designs in the back. I got so many compliments at work, my 9 to 5, because a lot of women aren't brave enough to do that. And they was like, oh, I want to do that so bad, but I'm scared. I'm like, just do it. It's hair. It's gonna grow back. Yeah, I would cut my hair again.
Hard no. I could not do it. I wanted to go short a couple times just to play with it. But I was like, I might have to dabble into that weave and lace front. I don't know. It's a weird relationship that I have with it. It's almost like it's its own person, its own little being. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Unless maybe I was doing it for maybe a spiritual or more holistic, sense. But right now, I am trying to let it just be the tree of life that it is and branch off and grow and do its own thing. So I'm not ready to chop it anytime soon.
Would I cut it? I have before. Probably not. I enjoy the options that come with having longer hair, so nah.
If I had to, I would. I feel like it'll grow back. But right now, I'm committed to just growing my locks out and letting them do what they want to do.
One thing in particular, I definitely have to prepare for the weather with my hair because, for example, the other day I straightened my hair out. I did all this stuff to my hair, flat ironed it, conditioned it, oiled it, and then it rained. As soon as I set foot outside, it rained. So I definitely think just being prepared for the weather. I have to know what the forecast is, which is kind of weird for my hair. But as soon as I set foot outside, my hair just poofed right back up to this. I even went to the Bronner Brothers hair show a couple weeks ago as well. And the same thing happened again. I straightened my hair, I did my makeup. I was looking cute for the Bronner Brothers hair show. I was ready, but I don't know. The weather wouldn't let me be ready.
Like Samson said, my strength is in my hair. It is me, especially a woman. A woman, if our hair isn't right, the whole day won't go right. I remember days in high school. If my hair wasn't right and I asked my mom, could I stay home because of a bad hair day, I could. So my hair is everything to me. And like I said, I'm trying to elevate myself. And so if I'm gonna be healthy, my hair has to be healthy. Mind, body, and spirit.
I guess it's the time that it takes to do it. I can definitely understand why a lot of women of color wear weave, or just women period, wear extensions. For a long time, people used to make it seem like it was just, it's because she doesn't have a hair of her own, or it's because she's not happy with her hair type. But no, as I get busier in my business, I can definitely see where having a wig or a weave could save me a good 30 minutes off my day.
Now that I know what my hair responds to and what it likes and whatever, I can do a lot of kind of wash and goes or rinse and goes or co-washes, and I just kind of put it on top of my hair. But sometimes, depending on the projects that I'm working on or who I'm working with, I might have to schedule it out because it's still a process. It's still work. But I guess when you kind of really get into the entire journey of it, you understand that it takes that time and it takes that extra love, and you start enjoying that process. And that's where self-care comes in. Taking care of natural hair becomes self-care.
Oh, besides the fact that it is very quick and easy for me to get up and out the door, all I really need to do is kind of shake it out and do a spray if I want to. It also makes it so that younger girls in the community understand that it's okay to have locked hair. It's not something that is dreadful or hurtful to others, or that will stop you from getting a job. I mean, look at me. I work in a clinic and I became elected, all with locked hair.
be confident in your decision. Make sure it's something that you're styling for you and not others, because when it comes to Black women in hair, it really doesn't matter what you pick. Somebody is going to have an issue with it. You know, if it's weave, it's, oh, you don't love yourself. If it's, you know, wild and curly, it's also, oh, you don't love yourself. Why'd you come out looking like that? If it's blonde, it's, oh, you're trying to be white. If you take it all off, you're trying to be masculine. It's always an opinion about it. So, you know, rock it how you want. That's how I feel about Black hair as a woman.
There is strength in teasing things apart. So generally when you see people with locks, they have larger locks. Maybe it would be 4 of these together. But I have sister locks, which are more individualized, and they're actually teased apart. The process is an interlocking system. So instead of rolling them with gel, we actually use a crochet needle and tease the hair against itself. And so like I said, my hair has taught me that it matters when you can tease issues apart and start to understand that there's more than you just initially realize.
I think that the politics of hair are changing drastically in such seemingly a short period of time that's kind of putting more creative space when it comes to natural hair, and I love it because people are testing their boundaries and, like I said, being really creative with what they can do with their hair. And I think that now more than ever we kind of have those opportunities and those outlets and those avenues to be able to do that than ever before. I do still feel like there's pushback, but I feel like there's just so much support in the natural community that you know, as you're going through your journey, you really gain that confidence no matter what you're faced with. A sense of confidence that a person who has natural hair probably could never have before.
I don't worry about any outside issues when it comes to my hair. I don't worry about any negativity when it comes to my hair. I just do what makes me feel good and what makes me feel happy at the end of the day. And I just want to definitely tell all the young women and even older women, just do you.
Never be afraid to express yourself with your hair. Don't let society put you in a box, because hair is how you express yourself. It's your identity. Like, you shouldn't be your hair. Like, Andy already had that song, I Ain't Got My Hair. Like, be free. If you want to cut it off, cut it off. If you want to color it. That's not going to take away if you're smart, if you look at as promiscuous. Like, don't let society make you feel ashamed of how you want to wear your hair. I would like to see a change in, like, I guess, the way society views hair. I feel like if you want to wear braids to work and you are in a corporate setting, do it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I love everything about hair.
Politics on hair. Wow, be you. I guess, what do they call that? A liberal? Be you. Be whatever you are. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't wear your hair the way you're supposed to. And I know some of us are buckled down by society and rules and laws, but even if you have to maybe buy a wig or something like that and wear that to work, and then on the weekends wear your hair out, do something for you, you know, change it up a little bit. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and what you cannot do with your hair. Love yourself, and that means loving your hair.